Boom.
Yes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 11:11 a.m. Fireside Chat for our Richfield Stars Anatomy Club update on this December the 8th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me, Vickie Meeks Miller, your Community Engagement Manager, and my co-host for this illustrious program that we have monthly on the second Wednesday of each month, Miss Margaret Riggs. Thank you for joining me, Margaret.
Thank you for having me, Vickie.
As always, we are going to have a good time looking at the stars and learning about what is happening. And Margaret is going to share with us what we can expect in our December skies.
Okay, good morning, everyone. What I've got to go over with you today is pretty much what happened in November as far as major planets are concerned. Venus is the evening star. It's low in the southwest after sunset. Those of you who have noticed it, and quite a few people have said something to me about it, will notice that it's getting brighter. Over the past couple of months, it's much brighter than it was previously. This is because of two different things. The planet itself is moving closer to the Earth. So as, of course, it gets closer, it gets larger. Also, Venus is much like our moon in that it goes through phases. And at this point in time, the phase that it's in is close to what our full moon would be like. So those two together make it very bright in the night sky. In fact, its brightest point was reached 2 nights ago on the 6th. So it's still very bright if it happens to clear up in time for us to see it.
All right.
Last month, I mentioned that the crescent moon was around Venus, and that time has already passed a couple of days ago. On December 7th, last night, the crescent moon was near Saturn, and tonight, again, if it clears up, the crescent moon will be to the upper left of Jupiter's. Now, Jupiter is still a very bright point in the sky. And just a side note, generally anything in the sky, bright, dim, indifferent, is referred to as a star. Just most everything up there is a star. But other planets are different. And sometimes I remember to mention them as planets, and sometimes I'll refer to them as a star in the sky.
That makes sense.
Yeah. On December 13th, coming up, there will be a Geminid meteor shower. It runs from 8 a.m. until dawn the next day. A little bit different from previous meteor showers that tend to start later in the evening. However, just because the moon is very bright at this time, it becomes a full moon 5 days later on the 18th. So it's going to wash out a whole lot of the meteors that would occur early in the evening when most of us would be watching.
Now, that's been the case quite a few times that we have had meteor showers that we haven't been able to see them due to the bright moon star, if you will.
So it's there again.
There again.
Now,
oh, wow.
If you're really into looking for meteors, moon set is around 3 a.m. That would be December 14th. And from 3 a.m. until dawn, you might see, and it's projected, 60 meteors per hour. Now, that's a pretty good number of meteors per hour. However, also keep in mind there's quite a bit of ambient light around Richfield. So that will wash out even more. So make your decisions, make your choices, and hope the sky is clear if you decide to view it.
And I just wanted to interject that the NASA website does provide broadcasts of some of these major events. I saw the eclipse last month, and then I was able to view it in full on the NASA website. So some of these things may be available on, if you just Google NASA, and then they go to their website and just find out what events have been recorded and broadcast.
Yeah, very good information. During this season, I'm going to jump off here just a minute. No, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I got ahead of myself. Mars is peeking around the sun. We're going to be on the same side of the sun as Mars for a while. Yeah. It will appear low in the southeast about 60 minutes before sunrise after December 25th, after Christmas. So for you early birds who get up and do early morning walks and whatever, look to the low in the southeast, and you might be able to see Mars. It will also appear in the west after midnight, just during the rotations and everything. On the morning of the 31st of December, it will be to the lower left of the waning gibbous moon. Now, remember, waning means getting smaller. Gibbous means it's more than half bright. The full moon is full bright. Anything gibbous is over half bright. So it's a waning gibbous. It's going to be pretty prevalent in the sky. You're going to be able to see it. And Mars will be to the lower left.
Now, speaking of prominent stars in the sky, this time of the year we hear a lot about the guiding star that led the wise men to Bethlehem for the birth of Christ. So I understand you're going to share some information about the guiding star.
Well, not a whole lot. First of all, I believe everybody has an opinion, and it's theirs, and they're entitled to it. Throughout the ages, the story of the Star of Bethlehem, the guiding star, the Star of the Wise Men, however, has been discussed, and in more modern times, scientists have tried to explain in very technical terms exactly what the Star of Bethlehem was. Now, there's all sorts of theories, lots of theories. One of them is that it was a comet. There have been enough comets just in my lifetime that have been over this area so that everybody has had a chance to at least see a comet. It's also been suggested that this is a conjunction of planets, and that has also happened. Not recently, but in my lifetime again. And that's where several planets line up in direct opposition of the sun and burn brightly, just like we were saying the surface of Venus is getting brighter. There's also conjunction of stars that are planets that would seem like a very bright star. There are a lot of theories. A lot of the theories, you can also find something in them that doesn't quite ring true. But again, this is something that's one of the mysteries. And you're perfectly entitled to what you think and how you believe.
Yes.
And it's always just lovely to imagine it.
I would have to agree with that. And it's such a lovely story that, of course, guides us through the holiday season. And we thank you for sharing those insights.
Oh, you're welcome. It's, looking at Venus every night, it just seems appropriate.
Yes, the sky has been beautiful. And I noticed, too, that, of course, we all dread when daylight savings time is no longer and it gets dark earlier. But I had noticed how that's already starting. We're already starting to see that it's getting later and later. So it just gives us hope when we're at that point where, oh, it's so dark and dreary. For me, it's been encouraging to see, oh, it is staying lighter a little longer than it did when we first entered the realm of not having daylight savings time.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the solstice occurs on December 21st.
Okay.
That is, I think there's a program planned for that night. It's called The Longest Night. And that's when the sun rises, the sun sets. I think it's 5:01 p.m. It's very early. And then after the 21st, the days will gradually begin to get longer.
Okay. Well, as usual, I always learn something from Margaret and from the Richfield Stars group, because I've often heard of the summer solstice on June 21st, I believe it is, the longest day. And now I'm learning about the winter solstice, which is the after 21st.
I believe it's the 21st.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is why this club is such a thrill, is that you learn so much. So if you're a sky gazer or not, this is a perfect opportunity. This club that meets typically on the second Wednesday of each month at the Roost at noon. However, that meeting is canceled for today.
Yes.
For the holiday month. We're taking a month off. However, you should consider joining them and learning this exciting information about what's going on, what's happening right around us in the skies. And you'll be just like me. You'll learn something new all the time. Well, we do appreciate you joining us today for the Richfield Stars Astronomy Update. Again, Margaret, thank you so much for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
It always is. And from the Jar of Awesomeness today we'll keep on the same accord of the guiding light. I offer these words of inspiration. Be a guiding light, a safe harbor, a beacon of hope, and a solid foundation for those around you. And that quote is by Jennifer Gale. So that will be a guiding light for us throughout this holiday season. We'll look forward to seeing you all at Wine and Cheese Wednesday, or just Wine and Cheese here in the Roost 52 at 4 o'clock today. And there is no Wine and Cheese on the 15th, which is next Wednesday, a week from today. Also, please check your dance card, well nested in your calendars for more information. And once again, there will be no meeting of the Richfield Stars today at noon. That will resume on the second Wednesday of next month in January. Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful Hump Day, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, and bye-bye.